I think
you like them thicker? So he doesn't know what to say. He doesn't know how to get out of this.
It's a trap.
It's a trap.
I know how to get out of this. Let's look at Dota, huh?
Oh, okay.
Let's look at Dota. Actually, what I was going to say is I like the fact that like it was always really weird with WCG where it divided everybody up into countries because I always saw esports as the sport which didn't care about boundaries.
Yeah, the melting pot. Everybody comes together and we're all Dota fans.
The only part of the melting pot is we have to make 3 different pots.
Because your game sucks and you should hate yourself for enjoying your game.
Wait, what?
Is that why? Oh, I thought you were talking about the separations of games.
No, I'm not talking about that. I was going to talk about the separation of continents.
Oh.
Connecting America to like Europe or over towards Russia is rather difficult. Then you want to try and connect China. Even China RCA is a pain in the ass. So,
See, I thought you were going for this whole, hey, kumbaya, we all love each other, we all have this shared interest.
Kumbaya, my doom, kumbaya.
Except for at the LAN events where there are multiple games.
Scorch my earth, my doom, scorch my earth.
In which case, League fans should be ashamed of yourselves.
30 seconds to battle.
What? No,
right, okay.
no. Game time. Focus.
Yeah.
What we're here for. Loader will be our safe lane with Ranger. EGM supporting him. It's a dual lane on top. It's 100% confirmed. This time Vanscore does bring wards though. So he'll be up here with Mag as the puck. And that puts Resolution in towards the middle lane as the Invoker. And that puts Silent and Always Want to Fly together on the bottom lane. That's enough of a combination to fight up against a Batrider. Unfortunately for them, they won't get that. They'll have Arcade down here. And they're going to see each other and go, well, okay, I guess this lane wasn't exactly as what we expected.
And we got him. That's 110 mana down the drain.
It's fine. He brought 2 clarities to jungle with later on, so it's okay.
If I may
if it was any other hero, we would be in trouble right now, apart from maybe Batrider. If it was any other hero but Batrider and Clockwork, we'd be in trouble.
Oh, I do like the way that Alliance are doing this. They got the ward out very, very early on the side for Admiral Bulldog, and now he's just doing that typical like cogs block, which is going to be able to give him some experience and get him to like level 2, level 3, which is a good start. The biggest problem is that Mag is actually able to do pretty decent against this. Like, Puck is not a very strong offlaner, right? He has an escape mechanism, but he's really, really squishy. However, you look at the supports, they have no control over that Puck whatsoever. So they can harass him, sure, but Matt can still come forward, trade last hits in exchange for experience, and we'll be able to actually pick up a decent amount of levels off of this.
You can actually see he came there to trade even more last hits. He's come up with like a shared tango, full set of tangos, and a healing salve on top of all of that. So with all that, he's expecting Thunderstrike to be...
Yeah, spammed out constantly, yeah.
But Arcade never leveled it. Hasn't leveled anything up just yet. He's just watching Mag on the top lane, throwing a couple of basic hits. There's no phase shift, so he's got to take it out. But I think he's trying to decide whether or not there will be enough control with Burrow Strike as well as what I'm waiting to be Shackle. Actually, I just realized too, we got Wind Run in the first ability here from Loader as opposed to just having Shackle and Power Shot. Was he worried about that top lane?
Something I think that Ake is actually trying to consider as his level 1 is actually Glimpse early on. If you can run at the puck, force him to try and orb backwards, and then you throw Glimpse at the last second of him trying to get to his orb, the Glimpse timer, it isn't immediate, right?
Yeah.
It actually sends back a little bit of time, so if puck jumps away, before the glimpse marker actually lands where it's supposed to be, then he'll go to his orb, but immediately right back.
Yeah.
Just an idea, just an idea. It's highly unlikely you'll actually be able to succeed, and I normally would just go Thunderstrike against him.
It's just nice knowing if you have the option or not. Because I think he realizes if he burns through Thunderstrike right now, then he just sits there with no mana and he's not really achieving anything. Because Puck's got so much regeneration anyway that it's just, he doesn't have mana. So a kill is more important than just burning through a couple of health consumables on a Puck. And they're looking towards middle lane now. RK still not level 2 just yet. Still only got one choice of ability. But S4 still having a good time here in the middle lane. 14-3 up against that Invoker who's 10-5. So Resolution normally, like, he can play very passive at the very start. Like, this guy's even walking around with 4 spirits to try and focus fire down for last hits in this mid lane. So how much he's just getting a little bit frustrated by the Bat Rider. At the same time, he's also running a full magic wand. Like, it's not even a stick. That's a proper wand on the back of the Invoker. Who needs a bottle Invoker when you're going up against a Bat Rider?
Yeah, absolutely. And 4 spirits, once he gets the...
Really good movement. 4 spirits scouted out Ake.
Even though I'm not entirely sure what Ake was really going to do. Like, question mark, what does a Disruptor do at level 1
He's moral
gank?
support. He's sitting there up on the high ground with pom-poms.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose if you get like 5 sticky napalm charges and actually successfully get kinetic fields around Resolution, that might be a good combo, but it's again another situation highly unlikely that be able to do anything with that. However, once we have double 4 spirits up for Invoker, this lane's going to become a lot easier for him.
Regeneration.
Nice regeneration rune up on top lane, but it's taken by the full health and life points, full health and mana puck. Is Silent going to be going into... Yeah, he is.
Radiant's
Unless he's going to pick up
bottom
phase
tower is
boost in a
under
couple of
attack.
moments' time, we're looking at a hand of Midas over on Silent. With the Quelling Blade as well as basic boost to start with, that's all he really needs in order to get up close and personal with Admiral Bulldog, who's being another bit of a twit as he's blocking up the wave again. So this will pull a lot. This will pull up a big army towards the top. He almost should release it right now. Yeah, there it goes. So there's no damage dealt towards the tower. But his wave will get nuked down. He's still holding back because there's also a Rubik rotating down towards this bottom lane. But I think he's just out of range for XP. Rubik went straight past him without noticing.
Yeah, that was really smart play by Bulldog. Just like you, whenever the lane pushes, you normally see like smoke up from supports and they try and go around the tower. Same exact concept with if Clockwork's going to force the wave back into his tower like this, you're probably going to have some
Dire's
supports trying to catch him out and punish him for that play. And so
Dire's
Bulldog
bottom tower
just
is under
plays the
attack.
off lane as safe as humanly possible. Another thing earlier,
Radiant's
in fact,
top
he's still
tower is
doing it.
under attack.
Sand King is currently playing the song of his people. They were actually sharing the experience between him and Disruptor early on, which I think is actually a pretty good idea. Both of these supports are really level dependent.
But that's the beautiful thing about someone like an SK now, because the changes to
Radiant's
Sandstorm,
top
his
tower
jungle
is under
viability is so much more. There's your glimpse back, and this means they can go into a last hit. Resolution thought he'd be in a safe position. He's dragging him further away from Arcade.
Forge
So then
Spirit.
the orb. Forge Spirit, we got the first blood! Ah, it's Arcade!
Oh.
Oh no, it's Invoker! Damn it! See, now that's not fair, peoples. That's not fair. So when Bat Rider cleans the first blood, it goes away with S4. He'll die pretty shortly after. Getting body
great
blocked.
move by
EGM is on the
Mag.
way. There's a Telekinesis coming back in again, but now, well, the attack goes up the hill with a Soul Assumption, but S4, he's still bottling up, and the one charge has helped him stay alive. And Sand King blocks the path. Power shot, Shackle! Loader comes in, and he's going for Mag. He needs one more proper hit on Mag, but with a wind run, he keeps up, and then breaks the healing salve, and gets the kill. 2-1 goes his way. I always want to fly. He was diving in so deep to get the kill over on S4. With Graves, he'll be able to run away a certain distance. Is there a level 2 glimpse? Yes, there is. And look
have
at the
it.
range.
There it
There
is.
she is. Drag her back. He doesn't have any follow-up damage, though.
Yeah.
So we just go Graves Chill again. In the meantime, Hanamites is finished on bottom lane.
But now you see, like, the power of Disruptor, once he gets to level 3 and has that level 2 glimpse, it's actually a viable ability for ganking. So them sharing experience with the Sand King earlier might slow down Sand King's farm a little bit, but it gets Disruptor so much more control over this map. So I think that was a really great idea by Alliance.
He's coming up to be a bit of a nuisance. He's realizing SK is using Sandstorm just to farm up, so he's leeching the experience. Because EGM's only other choice is to walk out of the Sandstorm and then attack on Vanskor, who just throws him straight back into the mix. But they're wanting to push Vanskor as well as Mag out of here. Gotta finish that camp. Sandstorm's off cooldown, 2 seconds start. And look, Mag's coming back in. How much of this is he gonna take? Oh my! That's just...
Mag just fell into a windfall there. He was just like, I'm going to throw out this orb, and all of a sudden, all of the gold just comes raking in.
He passed go and collected $400.
Exactly. No, actually, that was more of like him going to chance and winning the beauty pageant or something.
Monopoly. The Dota version of Monopoly.
We do.
Yeah.
I mean, you do know my avatar, right?
Yeah, I do know your avatar.
Yeah. Oh, about
You
the
know
Monopoly.
what? We'll make a custom game inside of Dota, which is Monopoly. Monopoly Dota. Yes! It shall happen. Ideas. And then we pay copyright to them for the rest of our lives. What a shame. What a shame. Oh, there's your face boots on line stealer now. Considering you finished with the Hand of Midas before, that was it was a good timing Hand of Midas, and now someone's really going to start to move into a powerful position as this life stealer. And I don't really understand what this Wind Range is meant to be doing as far as like countering the massive DPS. Like, it's almost got to be a Desolator Wind Ranger, but we're starting with Face Boots and 4-Staff for the Wind Ranger. And I think it's also because the changes to Focus Fire, I think this is the first time in a very long time I saw any Wind Ranger level up Focus Fire level 6.
Yeah, Focus Fire a lot more viable as a Wind Ranger for cores. So, meaning this carrying Wind Ranger has some opportunities to actually output a lot of damage fairly early on. That's good, but it still doesn't make you a viable late game support. You're still more utility oriented than you are damage based. So, just means that Alliance are going to be getting very, very aggressive. However, with the supports that they have, you see some of these lineups sometimes where it's basically kind of like a no-core lineup. They're meant to win pretty much pre-35 minutes. However, Alliance didn't actually set themselves up with a whole lot of early laning phase. Normally, these matchups win their lanes and then turn snowball from there. Here, Alliance have cut themselves a very, very small amount of time where they're actually, their supports are strongest. Yep, their supports are strongest when they have their basic items, which is Blink Dagger.
Blink Dagger on a puck. Yeah. And the timing for them to nail him down is right now, because Mag moves up towards top lane, and he's looking for the farm to find his own Blink Dagger. If he didn't get that burst of gold, maybe he would have gone for like an item which is like a temp stop. Like I'll have like a bracer or something to get me through the hard times of.
Yeah, some
lane.
pucks go treads for more lane control. Yeah.
I thought strength and went the other one. Yeah. But he needs something along those lines if he's going to get there now, because with this Blink Dagger, there's no way to come in close on Loader. So Loader basically gets free farm up here on the top lane, and he's 100 gold away from finishing his 4-Staff. I wouldn't even be surprised if Loader goes roaming after he finishes that 4-Staff. Try and move down towards the bottom lane, find a couple of kills, and leave RK to find the levels up in the top lane. Because SK's found his out of the jungle, RK needs his as well. And if they don't get down there shortly, all these cams, Silent basically went in here, popped the Infest, just to do as much damage to the camp as possible, and then just starts farming and farming and farming. And this bursts in his drums. So you're running a Hand of Midas, and you're giving him what was a triple stack of creeps. It's just a huge injection of money, which Alliance need to quell.
Something I do want to talk about, the 4-Staff. We don't actually talk about this interaction for Wind Ranger that often, because most of the time it's just Wind Ranger support or Wind Ranger off lane, and you're like, yeah, 4-Staff is always good. But 4-Staff is exceptionally strong on Wind Ranger as a carry position because your Focus Fire, it just allows you to constantly get those pot shots off. It's very much in the same spirit of a Blink Dagger on Clinks, where you pop strafe, your biggest problem is actually being able to stay in range of those heroes. Well, you Focus Fire down an enemy, and then you just 4-Staff and you keep up with them, constantly laying down that damage. So this makes 4-Staff a really strong item, and not just a good item in general versus Lifestealer, which is another big thing to talk about.
Alliance are looking for a quick and easy kill up on top lane. They've actually rotated Clockwork towards this top lane, so S4 was dealing with bottom as well as mid. So there's only two things that will happen right now. Either Empire somebody in and he gets completely caught out, or they let the tier 1 tower go. That's like the only real options here. Focus Fire is already being used to bring down this tier 1 tower. Fortification won't be used. They let the tower go. And there's no need to fight. They've got Familiars already up here and always on fly. This is a level 6 Visage. And not a bad timing. It's amazing. It's not a bad timing. So these two supports just by themselves can push out the lane, but they've got with the familiar support, so much cover fire, and now they've moved towards the bottom with the blink dagger SK. They couldn't find a kill up on top lane, so now they're going to try and get one on bottom.
Yeah, and they got to get really, really aggressive. They really have to because their timing is now kind of like the 12 to 25 minutes. They need to have a serious lead so they can start getting Wind Ranger carry a lot of items. You're going to need a gold advantage. Despite the fact that Wind Ranger is very, very good up against Lifestealer in general, as a carry, you're even better because Lifestealer can't target you at all.
Yeah.
But Lifestealer is probably a more efficient carry at being able to take out and go for a lot of the other heroes up on Alliance.
Alliance have had enough of this. They're three-man smoking it up. At least SK now has the movement speed to keep up with everybody else, considering, as Nahaz was pointing out, there's no boots on this SK. He just went straight into the blink dagger instead, but now he gets the boots. But they'll look for a hero and always want to fly as the one. He's the one which is out the furthest, and EGM can easily go in. So Blink, Burrow into a Cogs, Battery Assault, Shackle, trying to launch, and the familiar drop down almost bought him the space needed. But there's just too many heroes down here for Alliance for them to fight. There's a small problem for Admiral Bulldog. He's only got enough now for a hook shot.
And they forced rotations, so this is exactly what Alliance wants. They don't want Empire to try and dodge.
It's got the second Blink dagger.
Yeah.
Gonna come in and fight this so hard. And Mag, oh, he's just short. Silence is up on S4. Now the Dream Call as well. But RK is also here, ready to fight. Power shots through, but Mag locked in with Silence as well as the Familiars. Forced up him up away from the dropping Familiars. There was a pick up with the telekinesis, and now in comes the epicenter from EGM. But he's getting stunned up half the way through. Resolution was perfect on the call snap. And the Force Spirit's focus meant he basically couldn't walk forward. And the rest of Alliance backed themselves up. This fight in the bottom lane went horribly, horribly wrong.
Yeah, it did. This is why oftentimes these kind of drafts are very, very risky, because they didn't win the early game, right? I mean, you take a look at the gold graph, it's actually in favor, experience, and gold in the favor of Empire. How are you supposed to have a stronger mid game
bottom tower has been
when you actually came away from the laning phase worse than the other team? Like, draft alone, like just looking at the picks of Alliance, aren't necessarily going to win you the mid game when you've got a very farmed up Invoker and a farmed up Lifestealer already.
Yeah, because you got nowhere to really dodge any of this kind of stuff. Like, what are you going to be doing? Walking around with a BKB so don't get cold snapped all the time or burnt out? There is only one BKB here, or maybe two if you're going to include the Clockwork. But Batrider's the only other one which would normally do it. But that's only after getting Blink Dagger 4 stuff. And then he'll go into it. So yeah, it's a very questionable draft coming out from Alliance. And not just the draft, just the transition of the draft.
We are going to see the times I have seen Wind Ranger in the one position, Alliance is just kind of crushed, and they've ended the game early. I think this game you're going to see how just exactly how quickly the Wind Ranger falls off going into the late game, because as it stands right now, Empire very much in control of this game, and it's going to push late whether Alliance wanted to or not.
Yeah, there's just no other option right now. These Familiars are just dropping and slowing down Alliance's push as well. All they want to do is just get a tier 1 for a tier 1 trade, but they've lost their creep wave on the bottom lane. Loader is still farming up on this top lane, but he's walking around with 1,700 gold now. And my question for you is, where's he go from here? Do we look for the Orchid? Does he try and rush up a Scythe of Vice? Does he have time to rush a Scythe of Vice up against this lineup? Because it looks like with Mag and Resolution, they back up, they smoke up, they're looking for kills. And they're probably looking for Loader more than anybody else. Shut down the Wind Ranger, which means it's no DPS.
I think in a carry Wind Ranger, you go and you try and go for things that proc off your ultimate. So look for Maelstrom, possibly MKB going into the later game. But those are your big items that are actually going to be able to give you a lot of damage. I like the idea of Desolator, honestly, because Lifestealer is such a low armor hero. However, I think you're going to have more damage output with a Maelstrom.
They haven't found their opening yet. And Loader, well, maybe he can buy out that Maelstrom you're talking about before he ends up dying, because they're just grouping up around the tower. At the same time, Alliance doing the same thing. This is really what their draft was trying to show. I don't think they're even worrying about how they'll transition into the later portion of the game. This draft just kind of goes and says, we want to fight, we want to kill, and that's all. Like, there is no more to read into this apart from that.
Yeah, I mean, it's entirely possible that the Wind Ranger going late is actually more viable than people give it credit for. I mean, it's only a 30%.
With the focus fire, man.
Yeah, it's only a 30% reduction in damage.
Look at it go. Like the new version of... she's exactly like that person now, the Dota 2 reporter. Like,
yeah, bottom.
oh, that's where he was.
Yeah,
that's like,
for,
where's the bad rider? I'm looking at the bottom of the map, and he should be here. The mini-map doesn't show him when he's out that far.
when he's off the map, he no longer shows up on the mini-map.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Top lane, Blink, got to look for the Burrow Strike right now. The Familiars will still make some space, but with RK here as well, always when a fly knows he can't run from this, so he's got to try and stand and fight. Glimpse will drag him back underneath his own Familiars, and if they need to, yeah, he'll throw out the Static Storm because RK's got no other choice. They can't Burrow Strike out yet, and they've got to get rid of these Familiars before they kill off the supports. That's why Loader is here. Runs himself around. He also now does have his Maelstrom. He just picked up the gloves as well as the recipe.
And they're getting extra gold. So nice. Familiars are going to go down. Picks found on both sides, but this just means that Empire are getting more and more farm. Have a Force Staff into
Necrobook.
Are you sure?
I'm looking at Invoker right now. Yeah, it's four stuff into Necrobook.
Yeah, you're right.
The null talisman was just a casual kind of thing.
Okay. The reason I thought about Yules is the fact that you have both Clockwork and Disruptor who are able to jump in on an Invoker and have really good abilities that lock him down, right? So if he has a Yules, he can get himself out of that Static Storm, not needing a BKB. He could just delay himself out. And same goes with the Clockwork Cogs. Both of Yules would be helpful, but it's not necessarily the ideal item for a Exort Invoker.
Yeah, he needs to have a little bit more damage and control during the fights, and more importantly, they need to have a way to push up into the high ground. And they want to do this earlier rather than later. S4 jump on toast. Like, there's support nearby, but there's no point EGM going in for that one. Too far out. There's no tier 1 towers to TP into as well. They just had to let him go. Yeah, but Resolution's looking to the future. He's looking to, how do we win this game? We've got to go high ground. Rubik's not really going to do that for us. Visage can at least do split pushing for us. Puck is a jump in initiator, but he's not a tower pusher at all. So they need to have that extra grunt to get them over the hill.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
The only other option is just basically to...
Necronomicon is also going to be really strong against some of this AoE. You can't control the Maelstrom damage, you can't control the fire, you can't control your epicenter on Sand King. Top though, always want to fly, you just get bursted down. Once you lose that cloak, oh man, I never thought about this, but Focus Fire, really good direct counter to Visage's Gravekeeper's cloak. All of a sudden, all of that armor is gone.
Mag, Sunstrike! Got him!
Well played.
That's a almost a max. He's 2 points away from having a maxed out Sunstrike. But grabbing the SK on the way out, Mag did all the hard work for that one. Did all the hard work for it. You're right, it is something you don't really think about. This is something too which Alliance like to play around with. Like, I know I've been trying to convince Loader to bring Dwarven Sniper back for S4 and not for him. So S4 can play a different safe lane solo.
That's really why Loda's being so resistant, is he sees the mid sniper being viable, but maybe not the carry sniper, and he's like, no, if I can't have sniper, nobody will.
Yeah, he'll basically have to move into the middle lane and play that one out. I don't think that'll be a bad thing. It could be worse.
I'm sure Loda's skilled enough to make it work.
Yeah, he's been around the block long enough.
He'll just bring his supports to middle all the time. Help! I'm losing my lane. Help!
See, that's the funny thing. He can't do that unless they're actually like roaming ganking supports, because it destroys the mid solo sniper if you bring too many supports too often. Bottom lane will now be brought down. Loader, he's helping to get rid of the creep wave, and then the focus fire out. And you see Loader's now second item. It's just a Void Stone. So again, we still sit ourselves here with the puzzlement of, well, not puzzlement, but the question mark of what does he go into next. You've basically got three major options. I'm seeing one, the Yules, two, the Scythe, three, the Lincolns.
So I think Scythe is going to afford you the most amount of damage because Wind Ranger pretty much the only hero I can think of. Well, no, Invoker is a similar idea, actually. But it's going to be able to pick up Scythe of Ice Furion. That's actually the hero I'm thinking of. Where you're picking up Scythe of Ice, and it's actually going to allow you to do a lot of physical damage as well. So just a basic Maelstrom gets you a lot of early game. You finish up with the Scythe.
S4's in real trouble right now. The orb's going to come down. He's trying to run the rim, but he can't do it enough, and now in comes the extra help. Mag almost down, able to phase shift out at 40 life points, healing up, and now SK, well, he just walks in to get rifted. 4 heroes lost for Team Empire, and all of this started when they thought about initiating in on this top lane. Batrider was scouted out by the Familiars. That's what I was watching with the camera, and because he kept getting hit, he couldn't blink initiate in. Resolution also didn't get caught out. He was walking up the river from the top rune and was about to actually walk directly into a blink lasso. And the Alliance would have had the advantage during that fight. But Familiar scouted him out, kept the damage on him, kept that blink dagger on cooldown, ended up becoming a little bit too deep in the mix. And
structures are fortified.
Alliance pay the price for it. 10 for 5 now.
That means Empire going to be able to control more towers, meaning freeing up more map control. It just means less room for Alliance to use their pickoff lineup, which is, you know, Clockwork, Batrider, even the Sand King and the Disruptor. Those heroes are all very, very good at being able to spread out around the map and find individual pickoffs and shut down and gank Empire a bunch. But when you don't have any map control, when you don't have any tier 1 towers up, it's kind of hard to do that because Empire has so much room to spread out and farm. And you're seeing, I mean, just from the gold graph, sure, there's a lot of tower gold in that as well, but the way the experience and the gold is just skyrocketing up is also because of the way that they're able to maximize their farm by staying very, very spread. Taking their jungle, Ancients, the enemy jungle even. Alliance, they know they need a really, really big advantage, so what better advantage than trying to take Roshan? If you're on the Dire side, go for it. It is going to be a Lincoln's up, by the way, for Loda.
All right.
Yeah, he finished off the Perseverance about a minute ago. So, okay. I still don't see your... I mean, if this is a utility or support, Wind Ranger, absolutely. But this is Wind Ranger as your carry. You need damage output really badly.
Yeah. That's true, but you also need that survivability at the same time, so you got to find a balance between the two. And I have no problem with the Lincoln Sphere. Gets in the regeneration to spam out his abilities, not massively, because he doesn't really cost too much really at the end of the day. But it lets him stand out a long, long way forward, and maybe have that escape mechanism when Loda does what he likes to, which is this split push, which is what he's doing right now. Sitting on the bottom lane, pushes out nice and fast with the Maelstrom, and forces a reaction from Empire. Empire already moving up towards the top, while S4 middle lane, but they need somebody to jump onto it. It's going to be a Resolution. Now, there's no forced up with this, and Mag never got out. There's your epicenter coming in. It's a lot of damage to the puck, and he will go down here, but for the price of the two supports, Loda being picked up and tossed around like a toy doll. Clockwork back in again, but Silent, open wounds up. This may even be, I don't want to say a GG goal. When Alliance starts throwing themselves like that, you know something is horribly wrong.
That was a really good fight for Alliance, and they still came away from it worse. Yeah. So it's they hit a good epicenter. They like Puck missed his Dream Coil on the Batrider. They were very grouped up for the Static Storm. Like those sort of things all happened, and Empire still shrugged it off and killed GG heroes. So yeah, they had an early lineup. It's 25 minutes in, and they're losing. There's no way to come back with this kind of lineup. So
well, we get to call that one then, and this is of course a best of 3. So we have a possible 2 more gamers coming up between Empire and Alliance. So we're going to have ourselves a short break and be coming back here in just a couple of moments' time. For those guys out there that were looking for confirmation of the code for the D2 for the Dota 2 Lounge giveaways, I did